Welcome everyone. You are listening to and perhaps watching Hot Sauce Sports. That's true of everyone except for Terry Tam, who joins me but seems to be having technical difficulties.
I mean, I can hear the music.
Okay. I hear my voice. I hear you.
Now I can't hear anything.
I hear everything great now.
Now is a little bit better. Okay, we're going to leave it right here. Say something, please.
All
right.
Whatever you
Chicken
did,
McNuggets.
We are good.
whatever you did to touch my knob made it excellent.
Slob
It made
my
it
knob.
The best knob ever. The best knob ever, in fact, is the Eagle at Master Control. He's a producer.
I'm less down for rubbing knobs and more down for rubbing meat.
Absolutely, as you should, because Terry, I screwed up the reads last week, so now you're taking over again.
Okay. It's me. This episode is brought to you by Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com, home of the best sauce in town, and La Sauce barbecue sauce, the special barbecue sauce, which I love, which is right here. You can't see it because it's on your screen, but yeah, right there. Where is it? Right there. Mike's barbecue sauce. This is actually pretty sick, but my favorite is this fucking ghost bourbon.
That one's good. That was great.
Yeah,
I love that one.
It's so good. And when the first time I had it, it wasn't that spicy. And then when I put it on some fries, it was like I just drizzled a bit on it.
You
really
remembered
kicked
like,
in.
okay, it's not that spicy, so you put more.
Yeah.
And then like that's ripping my face off.
So I haven't tried the rubs yet.
Oh, I did the rub on with chicken
wait.
thighs
Are you
this last
saying
week.
that you forgot to rub your meat?
I've forgot to rub my meat.
Jesus.
So if you want to take advantage of having this, they've given us a hot sauce 10% off discount code to use on all individual bottles, not the packs, unfortunately. But you could have 10% off on all these special items. They're not that expensive either. I think it was like $7.99.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I mean,
I got
also
like 4 or
available
5
off
different
those.
things for like $25.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I ordered like $50 worth of stuff.
They're also available in a bunch of stores, but why do that when you can have it shipped to you?
Yeah.
You
Why
can have
go
a
to a
ship-
place?
Exactly. Why move your ass and just concentrate on your rubs? Rub your meat while you wait for your meat rub.
Well,
Don't
rub your
forget-
meat while you wait for your meat to get rubbed.
And while you rub your meat.
If you're not rubbing your own meat,
Why you
in
rub
either
someone
circumstance.
else's meat?
I mean, get your
Yeah.
meat rubbed while you're waiting to rub your meat.
Or rub your meat while you're rubbing someone else's meat.
I mean, just
All the options.
all of the meat rubbing options
They're
possible.
available to you.
They're available to you with a 10% discount on Mike's BBQ Rub, MTL.com.
I don't know how you're going to pivot out of this one.
Bob Manfred.
The ultimate meat rubber.
Yeah, the dude, he's got to rub his own meat. And like the thing that bothers me is, as we are living through a global pandemic, while we're living through people having lost their jobs in some circumstance, lost their abilities to earn, as we're living through civil unrest, and now yesterday, which was just an awful, awful incident, the explosion in Beirut. Our hearts obviously go out to them. But then every time Rob Manfred opens his mouth, he comes across like more and more of a douchebag given the circumstances. Like, so they're talking about obviously all the COVID tests that happened with the Marlins, and now it's spreading throughout the league, and how basically because of their plan to travel, it's all falling apart. And Bob Manfred said, he didn't mention the teams, didn't mention the players, didn't mention the people, the frontline workers, the trainers, all that stuff. He instead said, well, I'm not a quitter, so we're going to finish the season.
Oh, you know what? Way to show your balls, man, Fred. And he's also like, if you guys don't follow the protocol, we're going to cancel the season. Like
You're the protocol!
you like go to your room. You're not watching TV for the week. Go fuck yourself, okay? You force these guys to fucking play. You tried to take all their money. Now you're giving them shit for not following your protocol?
You try to, okay, after going through so many negotiations where you're basically negotiating bad faith, you're refusing to disclose your income to the players, you then turn around and cry poor and try and spin it so that the people at home are going to hate the players because you want to squeeze every single dollar. And then instead of coming out with a plan that will work, you're forcing us to then basically, you're profiting off essentially taking minor league caliber players and putting them on the field. I'm used to seeing that for the Marlins, but I'm not used to seeing that from every team, Terry.
And now you're seeing that for the Mets, and that's what we're seeing right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you put it in the script because I didn't look at it.
I
It
didn't.
was Yoni Cespedes.
Yoenis Cespedes.
Is he on the script?
No, but
Okay.
he's
So
opted out.
Yeah, so Cespedes has opted out. We don't know what happened to him because he just disappeared one day, and then they're like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I have COVID, and I'm out. Peace." So I think he did something stupid, and he's just trying to get away from the media.
Yeah.
Or he might. Apparently, he's a big golfer, so maybe he just wants to play golf.
Golf, or maybe he just has a stripper glitter all over him. Couldn't get it off. It was going to be pretty clear that he had COVID. But yeah, so that's possible. But the thing is, like, you're seeing guys like that opt out, and reports keep coming out. There's a report in Forbes magazine today saying that something like 70% of people who contracted COVID and displayed symptoms have heart-related issues up to 6 to 8 months after contracting the disease.
That's pretty fucked up. Like, you lose your sense of smell and stuff like that. So I mean, do we want Manfred to get it, or what's going on?
I will say this: I wouldn't wish that on any human being, but are we sure that Rob Manfred?
Huge but.
Are we sure that Rob Manfred's actually human?
I mean, he does look like an alien.
Absolutely.
He does look like somebody that may or may not have transformed into like a humanoid. Word of the day calendar.
Maybe it's the digital fans have created a physical representation to then use that to take over the world. So maybe he is the first Terminator.
Maybe he is the first ever clone, and we've cloned him from like 1347, and he just has this weird way of looking at life.
That's true, because baseball went from being A New Hope to now Attack of the Clones. Terry, it's time. It's time for.
You know what the best part of this is? I'll wait till you do this.
Terry, it's the news.
So you know what's funny about this is how last week you're like, Terry to John, and then there was no explanation.
No.
I think John knows, but like, maybe he should have known.
Yeah. If not, he's very, very depressed that I don't know his name and he works for the company.
Hopefully people can hear me, because last week John's voice was very low.
Yeah.
Eagle's fault. Eagle produced John's voice.
That's true. That's true.
Try and produce a more powerful voice. But we thank John for coming on.
He did a great job.
John's awesome.
It's honestly, people don't realize how the burden of content can be difficult if you're not used to doing podcasts and stuff like that. You and I worked together for a long time, even before Hot Sauce Sports
almost 10 years
started. It's been a long. I'm surprised you can still stand me, to be honest.
Since 2000, I mean, I can't.
All right, that's the reason then. That's how this all works: is anger and hate. Zion Williamson.
When all else fails, hate.
Zion Williamson in his first 2 games played 29 minutes. The NBA did everything possible to get the Pelicans into this mini tournament, and he only played 29 minutes, and they're calling it burst management. So between burst management and load management, it makes me think, does the NBA have a way to phrase this that it doesn't sound like masturbation?
I mean, don't forget to rub your meat.
Don't forget to rub your meat.
Don't forget to rub your meat.
Burst management, baby.
I think they're just trying to make it so people, it's like a new thing to talk about, so you can't hate on it yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where people hate on load management because they've heard it before. So now it's a new thing. So they're like, we can't hate on it yet because we're in the experimental phase. We're very beta right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they did it. So it's like, they can't hate on this new thing because it's new.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of.
But because the thing is,
because humans are stupid.
I think most sensible fans look at an 82-game season and say, like, yeah, you know what? If Kawhi can get my team to the finals and win a championship, I'm good with him missing 6 regular season games or whatever it is.
But it sucks for the people that paid big money.
100%. It sucks for season ticket holders especially.
But I'm also the type of guy, I've been a sports fan long enough to know that if I go to a game and Carey Price isn't playing, I'm not mad. Because it happens.
It does happen.
It happens. It's one of those things. You can't, what if the guy got sick the morning of? Are you going to get mad?
Terry, the other side of this is that the league just says, he's got a bruise and he can't play.
Yeah, exactly.
His finger hurts. He can't play.
You
know what I mean?
I have inside information on an NHL player who's hasn't played yet, but they haven't announced what his injury is, but he has a broken foot.
Yeah. So
can't say who it is.
We could announce it here and make big news.
I mean, I don't want to.
Was it specifically off the record?
It was word of mouth.
But was the word?
I was
were
not,
the words off the record?
I was not supposed to. I was not supposed to know. It was a mistake that I found out out of fear that I would release it.
So wait, this is a team that's still in contention.
Yes.
Who is not the New York Rangers?
No.
Clearly.
And the player is a former Habs player.
Oh, there's only so many options.
Eagle, get on it.
All right, where's John when we need him?
Yeah, John would be perfect, but he's busy today. He's working. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I understand. Like, it happened to me. And
it's only because I potentially want that player on, so I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Fair.
Not that he might find out about this, since our community is, it's pretty small right now. But just in case it does come out, I would want this guy to come on because I've hated on this guy for years, and I would like the chance to call him out instead of him being like, "No, go fuck yourself."
All right. That being said, I love being told to fuck myself. So
Yeah.
it's my favorite thing.
I mean, I'm gonna go rub my meat right now.
Absolutely, as you should.
I won't
But
forget.
yeah, I
that's
remember
for sure.
I drove 2 hours in Atlanta traffic to arrive 10 minutes late just to see AD taken out of the game when he was playing with the Pelicans. It was the only reason to go watch Pelicans Hawks. But you know what? I still had a great time.
Yeah.
You're still at a
Vince
sporting
Carter?
event.
No?
Vince Carter wasn't on the team yet. This is a few
Nah,
years
shit.
ago. This is a few
You
years
fucked
ago.
up.
The best is
There
baseball.
was
Baseball
Kent
games. 'cause you
Bazemore
can
was the
show up-
next best player on the court.
Baseball games are the best because you can show up at any time and still have a good time.
Yeah. Baseball games is more about
You even watch the
pretzels and
game?
drinking.
Baseball
exactly.
games, you're literally everybody's talking the entire time. All you hear is conversation, just
Yeah.
conversations all day. It's like a guy's watching and his wife is just I went in his ear, and he's just watching the game, having a brewski, and then they're gonna go home and she's like, I had a great time with my husband last night. Whatever. You can watch a baseball game with anybody, and that's
I
why
fucking
live
miss
baseball is the
it.
best. Exactly.
I miss it so much.
So
I
that's
miss those
why.
conversations.
So that's why Hot Sauce Sports will be a season ticket holder to the Montreal Expos when they come back to Montreal
one hundo.
in 10 years.
Absolutely. But
You
they
go
come
watch
back.
cricket games. They take a whole day, and all you do is drink.
There you go.
Well, baseball's almost that long.
Yeah, but it's only like 4 hours.
And you guys are playing softball after, which is the ultimate just drink my beer game.
Yeah. I've been threatened by the league to stop drinking while on the field
Oh, that's different.
with a fine.
So
Turns out you can't drink while fielding.
what I haven't played softball in a couple of years, and now I've actually it's not a habit. When I play golf, I pack a lip, like those tobacco packs,
Mhm.
and it kind of gives me a buzz. It calms me down, and I would love to play softball just so I can do that again.
Makes sense.
But nobody asked me to play this year, and nothing. It's not a shot towards you guys because you guys have your own team.
It's not our team, though.
Whatever. That's what
We're
I'm saying.
invited,
I
yeah.
don't really care. But like,
I'm a patsy.
I would love to play, so I might start subbing in for some teams just so I can.
Yeah.
skip
Just have
tobacco.
a reason. Exactly. Makes sense.
One reason.
Makes sense. TJ Warren had one reason to show up, and it was 53 points in his first game of the bubble.
So Pacers fan.
TJ Warren.
Pacers fan right here. I look. I'm
TJ
like,
Warren.
who the fuck is T. Warren?
So he's a guy. So Phoenix was trying to clear the books to surround Devin Booker with talent.
Yeah.
TJ Warren was not that talent.
Yeah.
So they basically gave him away for monetary consideration.
Yeah.
And like he's always been a very solid
Good
defender
player.
and an okay scorer.
Yeah.
But he had never gotten more than 4 3-pointers
Yeah.
in a game.
I saw the stat line, and then as soon as I got home, I turned on SportsCenter just so I can see the highlights. I never do that. I don't watch SportsCenter at all anymore.
Yeah.
And
Weird considering our job.
no, I watch sports and I
Yeah.
follow apps and
Same.
like
Twitter
score.
saved us from
Twitter.
sports, from
Twitter.
SportsCenter.
Twitter's the best thing.
Thank
ever.
you, Twitter.
Thank you, Twitter, for everything you do. And so I started watching the highlights, and I'm like, fuck, man, when the fuck did he get a range like this?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I didn't. Maybe look. One thing that surprised me more than anything else is like these guys are all in shape, right? Athletes are obviously in great shape, but when you see Aaron Judge
for
coming
Zion.
out of quarantine, you see Melo finally looking fit after all these years, finally losing that baby fat, and then what happened to Zion? It was my point. Like to your point, like he's the only guy who really chunked out.
So Zion, oh man, I look, and the worst part is it's not his upper body mostly; it's his legs. Are like he has the
He
legs.
got a big ol' ass.
He has the legs, the lower body of a 360-pound offensive lineman.
yeah, but he
And-
looks exhausted as he's running around.
Well, for sure, he's carrying
285.
285. He weighs just as much as LeBron James does.
Yeah.
Okay, and well, LeBron James is probably thinned out a bit,
LeBron James looks great.
but
by the
LeBron
way.
James is what 6'8". How tall is Zion? About the same thing.
It's about the same, yeah.
But he looks shorter because he's so wide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he's gonna we've said it from the beginning. If he doesn't lose the weight, he's gonna have a short career because
It's just too much on the
even
knees.
LeBron James now, okay, he's 33 years old, 34, whatever it is. But when he gets it, as soon as he's done, he's icing his knees, icing his ankles, and his feet are in an ice bucket because he's been playing for 20 years.
It's also the thing with Zion is his game is all explosiveness, and MJ had to become a jump shooter later in his career, right? We've seen Blake Griffin become a jump
Yeah.
shooter because, like, at one point your knees just can't take it anymore.
Exactly.
These are humongous human beings. So, like, when all you're doing is attacking the basket and catching alley oops, eventually, like that lasts 3 or 4 years. He needs to develop another facet of his game, and he's got to trim down. He's got to get down to 250, 260. Because you're right, it doesn't look like LeBron's 280.
He just needs to start losing it. And I feel like NBA players always thin out. Like you look at a guy like Brooks Lopez, he was thicker when he first came into the league. Now he's a lot thinner.
Kevin Love, same thing.
Kevin Love, same thing. All these guys, they come out and he'll learn. He has to learn. If he doesn't, it's going to be such a shame. We're going to be watching a 30 for 30 from 20 years later from now, and we're going to see a Zion playing 4 years in the NBA and injuries ruining him like Greg Oden. Well, Greg Oden was 40, telling everybody he was 20. So.
Greg Oden,
you can relax.
I don't care what your birth certificate says. You lied.
Greg Oden, you're old as fuck.
Yeah,
okay?
you were born at 16.
He must be 70 now. You know what I mean? He's like he claims to be 45, but really,
yeah.
Like, were you in the war?
On the day that Greg Oden unfortunately passes, he's going to leave behind several great grandchildren.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's in a couple of years.
Exactly.
Devin Booker made this ridiculous shot, Terry. I want to put it up for those watching at home who haven't had a chance to see it.
I saw this one. Beats Zubac with the rebound, but throws the outlet away, and the Suns have it. 6 to play.
Fuck out of here. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot from there.
Booker, this is for the win. Got it. Wow!
Just complete turnaround. Didn't even have his feet properly set.
No.
Got the ball up. And it occurred to me in that exact moment that we saw the Suns basically waste the career of Charles Barkley and waste the career of Amari Stoudemire, Steve Nash, and realized Devin Booker's going to go play somewhere else, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
He did. Like, the Suns don't deserve someone that talented.
I think the Suns are going to be like that team that just never won a championship.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be like the Browns or the Jaguars.
They need kind of a situation like Toronto where a guy, you either need to win in like they needed to win in the first years of Vince Carter's career while he's trapped there, or a guy like Kawhi has to come bring you a ring and leave. Like, that's the only way that teams like that can win a championship.
I can see a scenario where Devin Booker and Yanni and like a few different guys kind of like go to one team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When their contracts are up, that'd be
The
something.
next Miami Heat / Golden State Warriors / Lakers /
Well,
Cavaliers.
Golden State Warriors, I'll disagree with. Golden State Warriors, the only person they actually signed was Kevin Durant, like out of the big three. Clay and Stephen Curry were built through the system. So was Draymond Green. So, I mean, Golden State Warriors are the only team I can say that they built their success.
They got a lot of hate for signing one free agent. Yet Boston wins one championship with three guys.
With Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. Like, other than Paul Pierce, none of them were drafted there. So go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
And Perkins was there just, to have a fifth guy.
Kendrick Perkins back then was sick, too.
He was okay.
Rajon Rondo?
Yeah. It was a good team.
It was a very good team.
In the NFL, we're seeing some news start to come out because we're starting to get ready for a season that also may or may not happen. I'm very worried about the NFL because of the amount of gambling we all do on it, and because that it seems like it's going to have the same fate as Major League Baseball. It's heading down the same path.
The only gambling you do is fantasy football, right? So who's really affected fantasy seasons right now? Nobody. There hasn't been anybody of fantasy stature, like a high fantasy pick, that's opted out so far. So I think we're good.
Not opted out, but like if guys contract COVID because you're traveling from city to city to play these games.
Yeah, there's not going to be a bubble for the NFL.
But I mean, what's the difference between obviously if you're making long-term bets, like picking the Super Bowl winner or something, okay, fine. Like there's a whole bunch of volatility in it. But if you're picking game by game or night by night, you know who's on the IR list going into that game, right? It'll be like, you're missing your wide receiver, your defensive end, etc. Your odds are going to change.
I feel like daily fantasy there might be some huge plays this year.
Oh, that's a very good point.
With guys going down last minute to COVID testing.
That's a very good point.
And then like the backup now is like $2,100, but they're gonna get 20 carries. Yeah, give me that. Give me that all day. But we're seeing now CJ Mosley sitting out, ruining the Jets season that would have been ruined anyway.
Oh, did we? I don't know. I wasn't here last week, but I wrote an article: 10 players opting out in an attempt to ruin our lives. Very funny.
Yeah, it was good. It was excellent.
Yeah, great clickbait, by the way.
Huh?
Great clickbait.
Yeah, exactly.
HotShotSports.ca.
Exactly. So I wrote the article and I just listed the 10 players at the time who had opted out, and I kind of said I respect their decision, but I'm not happy about it because Dante Hightower and Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who were,
if anyone's got a reason,
6 degrees of separation.
If anyone's got a reason, Duvernay-Tardif just won a Super Bowl and is using that time to save lives.
Not only that, exactly, and that's what I even put a clip to him.
I know
at the hospital.
So much hate.
And I wrote. And then one guy writes that my article's dog shit and whatever. I'm like, well, thanks for reading past the title. I appreciate
Well,
it.
the next guy said he read the first paragraph and it was terrible.
Oh, okay, there you go. So the first paragraph did not say anything. I mean, listen, my writing skills are awful. We all know they are.
Whatever, it's fun. I enjoy it.
But they're great.
I enjoy
They're
reading
fun.
articles.
They're good times. I like reading my articles.
So do I. But we do see teams having their quarterbacks on the Rona list so far. Matthew Stafford, Gardner Minshew. I would have thought Gardner Minshew's blood was just allergic to COVID.
So technically, these two guys didn't get the COVID. We don't know if they did.
We don't know if they did.
So they're in the COVID bubble, which would mean that
the quarantine.
the quarantine basically. So because they might have been in contact with somebody that had it, or they might have shown symptoms of having it. So they might not have it yet. They might be asymptomatic or whatever.
I'm convinced that if Gardner Minshew got it,
Yeah, Gardner Minshew
we're gonna
would
be
fight it off
able.
for sure.
We're gonna be able to take his blood, and that's how we're getting the vaccine.
So you know who the backup is for the Jaguars?
It is Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon.
My best example. That's like ultimate Kaepernick comparison.
Exactly, yeah.
is Mike Glennon.
So exactly, it's always like Kaepernick doesn't have a job, but Mike Glennon does.
Yeah.
And I honestly, it was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, fucking Mike Glennon's going to be a starter this year.
Mike Glennon has made so much money to be very average and not play very much.
It makes no fucking
And I liked
sense.
him in college, by the way. I thought he was
Yeah.
going to be great when I saw him
Yeah.
in college.
Isn't that the best career ever, though? You literally get paid to do nothing every single
Well,
year.
Charlie Whitehurst made a career holding a clipboard and looking like sexy
Exactly.
fucking Jesus.
Sexy Jesus.
Sexy Jesus.
Nobody's sexier than Charlie Whitehurst. Nobody does a sexy Jesus better than
He
Charlie
was
Whitehurst.
banging Jewel like a year ago, and I'm like, Jewel's old now, and that's still awesome.
Charlie Whitehurst is a fucking dime piece.
Yeah.
Not only that, best job ever in the NFL was Curtis Painter. He was Peyton Manning's backup.
I remember him.
Never had to fucking play. All he had to do was pin.
Yeah.
That's literally all he had to do.
Yeah, but he had the face of a quarterback who's never going to play.
Yeah, he had the long blonde hair. He
Yeah.
played golf a lot. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that guy. He's that guy.
Jewel is currently 46, by the way.
Who?
Jewel.
Charlie Whitehurst is probably like 30.
Yeah, or 35 or whatever. He's
I
probably
wonder,
about
I
right.
wonder what
Milf,
Jewel looks like
milf,
now.
milf,
Show me
milf.
Jewel.
Probably hot as all hell.
Yeah, because she was
Yeah.
cute back then.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a more recent picture.
Or just go like before and after.
Let me get her Instagram.
Before and after.
What's Jewel's favorite
Charlie
famous
Whitehurst?
song?
What?
What's her famous song? Like her big one?
She has a bunch, actually.
No, but like the one that like rocketed her into fucking A-list. Oh my god. That's a tip of
You
my
Were
tongue.
Meant for Me, Who Will Save Your Soul,
Who will save
You
your
Were
souls,
Meant
baby?
for Me.
Foolish
Yeah.
Games.
Foolish Games is a good one. Yeah, she was solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Everything between talent, looks, she's got it all.
And
And she's got Charlie Whitehurst.
Stafford,
I wish I had Charlie
Stafford got coronavirus in his shoulder, so he's going to be injured the whole year.
Whitehurst. Yeah. So again, maybe it's the Georgia fan in me. Again, I don't think Stafford is as bad as people think. I think he's just a solid quarterback who just needs everything to go right. Kind of like Matt Ryan. Like everything needs to go right for them to have like really good seasons.
Yeah.
But now Stafford's body's betraying him. 100%.
Oh, Jewel. Yeah, she's nice.
Yeah. Jewel's very pretty.
Oh yeah, I'd let her rub my meat. I would not let her forget to rub my meat. Speaking of rubbing your meat, Hot Sauce 10 for 10% off on all available hot sauces,
was
barbecues,
organic.
rubs on Mike's BBQ Rub MTL.com.
Eat it while listening to Jewel.
Thank
Eat
you.
it while thinking of Jewel.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you play Jewel in the background on the Foolish Games,
Gets better.
Gets better.
I'll tell you what's not a foolish
gets
game.
spicier.
Rubbing your meat.
Rubbing your
That's
meat is
not
a foolish game.
game.
So what did Odell say?
Odell said that maybe the season should be canceled.
How about I cancel you, Odell?
I mean, I guess, but I mean, he's also not wrong. Like, does anyone know the right thing to do in a global pandemic? Like, you're asking NFL players on the spot. He might be like, "Yeah, I'm kind of worried about getting sick."
But
So
but
the
he
quote-
opted. Did he opt out?
No.
So he's a fucking idiot then.
The
Don't complain about the season being canceled
Well,
if you're not going to opt out.
it's the ultimate thing. Like tonight, I'll get like full disclosure.
It's like fear of missing out. He has FOMO. Odell Beckham has FOMO.
Full disclosure, I found out I had softball the same night as this show.
Yeah.
I found out because Eagle texted me earlier in the week to tell me that this was the case. And then I secretly wanted it to rain out because I don't want to miss a game,
Yes.
but I want to not have to rush to my softball
Yes,
game.
exactly.
So I feel like this is the thing with Odell is he doesn't want to miss time. He
a very
wants
good point.
just to get the season off so he can go back and then play and not risk getting coronavirus. So you get everything that way.
Exactly.
It's like rain out on a busy day, on a day you weren't going to play anyway.
So the full quote is, "We're not ready for football season, so why are we trying to push forward? It's obviously for their money. And that bothers me because there's always been this, and I hate saying it like that, but the owner's attitude is, oh, we own you guys, and just kind of that unfairness going on the way that they don't see us as human. I just feel like the season shouldn't happen, and I'm prepared for it to not happen, and I wouldn't mind not having it.
So don't play. Do me a favor and don't play.
But you have weird hate for Odell Beckham.
No, I just don't like that the attention always has to be on him.
I mean, but they asked him a question, and he answered it.
No, this is opt out if you don't want to play.
Yeah.
It's not like he said, listen, I want to play football. So
Well, the opt-out
if
list-
there's a season, I want to play. But I don't think, personally, I don't think the NFL should be putting
Maybe
on a
he needs
season.
the cash.
But maybe he does. But if he
Those
says...
Raymond Wild watches are very
No, but if he
expensive.
says that, if he says, listen, the
Those
NFL...
boat parties.
The NFL shouldn't be putting on a season, whatever. I want to play, but I understand if they cancel a season, I think it's better for everybody. But I want to play, so I'm going to play. Whatever, that's fine. But he's giving his opinion how it should be canceled. No, all this shit. Then don't play if it bothers you that much.
Yeah, I think it was more the stance of the relationship between owners and players, which is getting worse in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where it's improving in the NBA, it's getting worse in Major League Baseball and in the NFL because the ownership is seen as greedy. One person who saw it as greedy was when the Raiders tried to withhold money from Antonio Brown, and then everything fell apart. He's now been suspended 8 games. Let's just take a moment to think, what's the team that asked for the suspension? Because the only way he got suspended is because someone wants to sign him, right? Because they were not rushing to suspend him at any point. Is this Belichick doing Belichick things again?
I think Belichick is a mad scientist when it comes to these things.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking whiz. Somehow it's going to turn into his favor.
That said, like most chances Belichick takes don't pan out, right? Like, so we keep thinking of Randy Moss, but what's the last one? Like, what's the
Ocho was
big
a
reclamation
failure.
project?
It's a good question. Stephon Gilmore?
I mean, he was still good though. Like,
No, but he was.
but like a reclamation project. One of these guys, like Chad Ochocinco, didn't
Chad
work
Johnson wasn't good.
out. A lot of these guys who like are these character issues who come in. I mean, you can't say Aaron Hernandez
what
was
other
a success
character
because
issues have come? They
it ended
drafted
the
him.
worst way possible.
But what character issues guys has he brought in?
No,
I
I
feel
mean,
like
he's got the reputation for doing it.
I feel like
though,
it's
right?
going to benefit the Patriots in a weird way where if he gets suspended again, then they get 3 first-round picks or something.
Yeah,
Like-
they somehow they always get something out of it. Like they weirdly they're gonna get back the 4th round pick they lost to the Bengals. Somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember reading it. I'm like, I don't understand how this is possible.
What were you saying?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
In the realm of unfairness, though, the NCAA, of course, is my favorite thing to pick at. The Pac-12 is actually organizing a protest. They've come up with a list of demands. One of the things they've said is the commissioner of the Pac-12 makes $5.3 million. If they take the commissioner's salary and reduce it to $450,000, which is still a top 1% salary,
Yes.
you'd have enough money to pay all NCAA basketball and football players in the Pac-12 $10,000 stipend for the season.
Hey, do it.
On top of that,
But I will say this.
that's making one change.
This guy has a mortgage based on that salary, so you can't take it
How
away from him.
unfair for him, right?
Yes, but I
How
understand.
unfair.
But it's like you can't give him the cookie and then
Yeah,
take it away
it's so
from him.
unfortunate the students can barely pay for their food, but of course,
Is
yeah,
it-
his
but it-
gigantic mortgage is
Is
the
it
problem
his?
here.
Is it his fault that they offered him this money?
It's not. But the thing is that
Is he the
but
problem
this
or is the system
this is the thing
problem?
because we always talk about how I
So
hate.
close on all the schools and restart.
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of doing
Defund
that.
the schools.
Eagle, they've kind of shut down the schools and restarted because of COVID. But
And they haven't reduced tuition fees.
the thing is with
Schools are loving this right now.
because more money and less expensive.
Exactly.
But the thing is with this arrangement between the NCAA and the players, what's the thing that's unfair is that the rules are based on before there was a Pac-12 TV network and before it was merchandising and before people bought stuff with the likeness of players on it, and therefore it was before people were profiting off it. So it's amateurism if you're not truly profiting on it. But what they're doing, and Mina Kimes actually wrote a great article about it on ESPN, where she talked about how they will instead spend on like a brand new spa for players because that attracts recruits. But just take that money and give it to them, or
Like
allow
like LSU's locker room.
allow the
Did you see LSU's locker room?
boosters to give the money to who they want,
Yeah.
and allow the players to declare it in their taxes, and then there's no issues at all.
Yeah.
I don't know
pretty much.
why that's an issue.
But the only thing with the boosters is that the guy with the biggest money, he's gonna be able to declare it. But the thing is that now the money that they're giving to the schools is not being declared.
Exactly. So you're creating a black market.
Yeah, they've created a black market. Yeah. So open it up, leave it for fair negotiation. But the only problem with that is that the smaller schools won't get anybody.
Okay, and what's happening now? How is that different from the thing that's happening now?
But it's more like
who's been in the last 10?
Okay, I'll tell you. Who's that kid that signed with Howard? He's like a 5-star recruit for basketball. He signed with the Howard.
Yes, yeah. I don't remember, but yes.
He has like a very different name.
Eagle. At any time you'd like to produce
Howard University commit.
Yeah, you could just Google
basketball. Howard University commit. I forgot his name. Bala, I think his last name. Bala. I don't know. Check because I might be wrong. Howard University basketball commit.
I will do that.
Thank you. And so if like a guy like him, like if let's say, so he's a basketball player. Let's say Duke says, well, listen, don't go to Howard. We'll give you $1 million right now. I have this booster that owes us a favor.
He doesn't fit in with Duke culture.
I know. I'm just okay. So let's say Kansas. Let's say Kansas. Okay. So let's say Kansas. So if Kansas reaches out to him and they're like, we're like a top 5 basketball school every fucking year. We'll give you $1 million. He's not going to Howard. Yes. I don't care what message he was trying to send.
Overall,
that kid is not going to fucking Howard.
Overall, it's already happening that way. Right? Duke gets the best basketball recruits. Well, Alabama, Clemson get the best football recruits.
We've said this before.
You're talking about Ken Blackney?
I don't think so. No, that doesn't ring a bell. Is it like this year?
Like he's
in high school right now.
Yeah. He's committing for next season.
He was on First Take and everything.
I will check.
But that's the thing is, First Take is selling commercial space, having this guy
Macker
on
Maker?
the air.
Say it again?
Macker Maker?
Maker, that's it.
Maker,
yeah, exactly.
So that's it. Like
Bala,
everyone is profiting off this except for the people doing the work. And it's becoming clearer now in a season where some schools are not returning students to campus, but are returning the unpaid labor to campus.
Because it brings them more money.
Correct. Money that they're not spending on campus.
Tinfoil hat is on. It's fucking going nuts right now. You have no fucking clue. It's okay. There's things that are changing though. California's passed the law and stuff like that. So things that are changing. The wheels are moving and they just started moving. So we'll see what happens. But I think in the next few years, there's going to be a big change.
I agree. A big change is coming to Marty Jannetty's life.
Oh my God.
He put out a tweet today.
It was on his Facebook.
Or Facebook. That's why I couldn't find it on Twitter. Terry, you want to give people
so Marty
Jannetty,
who was the second half of the Rockers with Shawn Michaels in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Great wrestler back in the day. He's famous for getting Sweet Chin Music by Shawn Michaels through the barber glass when they broke up the Rockers, and Shawn Michaels became HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, and the rest is history. Marty Jannetty, ever since then, was never the same. He went through a huge depression, but he went on his Facebook to admit to murdering somebody when he was 13 years old because the guy asked him to meet him behind the parking lot of a bowling alley to do gay stuff. He uses the F word instead. And then he admits to killing him and putting him in the Chattahoochee River. Mm-hmm. And then also posting pictures of his girlfriend who he called her a Jamaican something.
Patty.
No, it has something to do with her Jamaican...
like Jamaican
cheapness or Jamaican
something like that, yeah. Anyway, and then he admits to that. He's basically saying like, I killed her. I don't know if she's alive or not. Yeah. And then also they had a daughter apparently, and he posted a picture of her saying she's not my daughter, but you know what? She's fucking hot. Maybe I'm gonna have a chance, kind of thing. I don't think I sent that one to you.
He did not.
That one's pretty creepy.
He did
and
not.
She's beautiful. And he's like, I did test. She's not my daughter, but she's fucking hot.
So creepy.
Maybe I have a chance or something along those lines.
You don't have a chance. You're just a creep.
I have to read this.
But yeah, so what's interesting about him being in the Rockers is that the somewhat racist language reminded me of John Rocker, ex-Braves closer. So maybe he was the original Rocker.
Maybe. If you loves me as much as I loves you, you will give your opinion, just did DNA 2 weeks ago. She's not my daughter. We both held out of sex because you don't do that. But now that we ain't, from a guy's side, she's fucking hot, but she's been daughter. I want to too, but can't get past that.
So you can't deny CTE anymore, right?
No, that's it. That was the first post, and that was the second post. The first one was, I never told no one this, even my brother.
Be careful with some of the wording.
Even my brother Gino, because Gino would have killed him, and I didn't want my brother gone. Hell, he'd only recently came home from Vietnam. I was 13 working at Victory Lane's bowling alley buying weed from a F word that worked there, and he put his hands on me. He dragged me around to the back of the building. You already know what he was going to try to do. That was the very first time I made a man disappear. They never found him. They should have looked in the Chattahoochee River. But Winnie, the girl in these pics, which is his girlfriend, I likes you so damn much. Probably my favorite, but I promised myself way back then nobody would ever hurt me again. That includes you. I loved you. You hurt me with your fucking Jamaican jealousy. You can go your own way. I don't need you.
So
Jannetty has long struggled with drug and alcohol abuse, and they've looked into it. There's no missing persons report in that time frame.
He's probably just like, imagine this. He might be bipolar or something, or schizo.
It's like that, and then combined with the sort of racist and homophobic recic just makes it
so
disaster.
weird.
He has now blamed hackers for the post and maintains he has no sexual interest in his daughter.
And cue Donald Trump talking about how sexy Ivanka is.
Yeah. It was truly the most disturbing thing to happen today.
It was so weird.
Terry, what do you have? What's in the pipeline for Hot Sauce Sports this week? I know John came out with a beautiful article about Carey Price.
Yes.
I've long since said that he's not responsible for the team's general collapse of talent. And you know, like they're a team that's from his peak, then just started decreasing in talent over time.
Listen, when Ben Chiaro is your on your first pairing, you know that Carey Price is gonna have to shut the door. He played really well in the games against Pittsburgh. They're 1-1 in the series. He stood on his head. We knew that Carey Price is gonna have to put a 5-game. He's gonna have to play really well for 5 games to beat Pittsburgh. As a Habs fan, I want them to win, but I also want them to lose. I would love to see them make a run as deep as possible. I'm a real Habs fan. I'm not who are you going to draft 2 years from now kind of guy.
Yeah, give me wins.
Give me wins.
I want to feel happy about my team.
That's it exactly. I want to be able to celebrate. I celebrated. I won $1,000 that night too. It was perfect.
I'm a Green Bay fan. I'm waiting for draft picks.
Build
for the future.
So apparently they said that they came out saying Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the future.
Yeah, and so is Alex Lafreniere.
So Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for years to come. So why did you draft Jordan Love?
Yeah, very maybe they think they can make him wide receiver, just like they said about Lamar Jackson for reasons.
So Carey Price to me is best goalie in the league. I think a lot of players say the same thing. But yeah, he hasn't gotten the victories and he hasn't made deep runs and stuff.
I don't
understand. He's not the only player on the team.
It's 2020 and we're still looking at wins and losses as individual accomplishment.
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
Exactly.
Like, how can we as sports fans still be that dumb?
But he has been mediocre stats-wise individually for the last couple of years due to injuries, due to personal problems.
And the team's not been very good.
The team hasn't been good at all. I mean, the team that they put out there, as tough as they are and as hard as they play, they're not anywhere near a playoff team. Yeah. The fact that you have Danault on your starting line as your number 1 center is a problem. Danault is a great second-line center, one of the best. But he can't be your number 1 center.
I'd say even a lot of teams, he's a 3rd-line center.
Yeah, that's it. Gallagher's 2 years away from basically getting under 20 goals. I think he plays way too hard for his size. Guys like Jordan Wheel, as good as they are. Weber, too, he's 2 years away. The team is on a downfall. They have a lot of good prospects, but Carey Price is never going to win a Stanley Cup.
What else do we have coming out in the Hot Sauce Sports?
We have an interview with Ben Marion, who was supposed to happen today, but Pease is late again.
Sorry, boys.
It's okay. So Ben has agreed to do the interview with me alone tomorrow. So Ben is a 3rd-round pick by the Alouettes, played for the University of Montreal. Carabin, he's an awesome defensive lineman, great guy, and he's a very funny guy. So I can't wait to talk to him.
Eagle, it's time.
It's time to wrap. Because we gotta go.
Okay,
let's end
rapid fire as we're ending.
All right, let's go with Big Hurt. The now slim Ben Roethlisberger still didn't miss a chance to talk about how injured he is. He described having torn 3 ligaments in his elbow.
The dude's born with a walking boot, I swear.
Fuck this guy.
All he talks about is how hurt he is at all times.
A Pharaoh to Kings. Boogie Cousins trolls the Sacramento Kings more than 1,200 days since he last played for them by tweeting out, "Who's the scapegoat now?"
Yeah, it was him, big time.
Yeah,
big time. It was.
And
not the incompetence in that organization.
I love Boogie.
And the pursuit of happiness. Aubrey Huff challenged LeBron James's manliness by posting a tweet with him walking in with a whole bunch of fashion accessories.
He said a purse is not okay.
Aubrey Huff, okay, we know where you stand politically.
Yeah.
Eat shit.
So here's
like, just keep it there.
You know what? Why don't you do this? Why don't you go up to LeBron James and challenge his manliness? See how that ends for you.
In your John Deere hat and your goatee.
You've been Terry. You've been Eagle. I've been Pease.
And Hot Sauce 10.
You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.